Hello viewers! The new FSD Beta 9.2 just started downloading to my car. Super excited. And I'm sorry, I'm like holding the phone in my hand because I cannot find my gimbal anywhere, so I'm sorry for that. Just apologizing ahead of time. I'm going to do my best to try to hold it still, but it's downloading now. It didn't show any release note changes so far. But let me see if I can get the update name. I don't want to kill the stream. Actually, I can pull it up here. Yeah, the new software version is 2021.12.25.15. So right now I'm on 4.18 and we're going from 12.25. So it's kind of a big jump, actually. That's like 8 months. No, I'm sorry, not 8 months. Weeks. This is weeks. So this is 0.4 and now it's on 0.12, so 12th week. So we're still pretty behind if you count the number of weeks we're in. Yeah, so all of us started getting the download all at the same time. So we're all in Clubhouse waiting for it to come down. Then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, my Wi-Fi started pegging up, and sure enough, the little icon showed up on the screen. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to start YouTube live. So it's interesting with this Beta 9 revisions, we really haven't had like a lot of UI changes that we've seen, but they started doing those little visualization changes on the side here. Let me see if I can pull up my release notes. It's not going to load now. Yeah, the beta software is very different because as soon as I get off the highway and get down to city streets, it's like a totally different animal. Like the car, it was crazy. I had a motorcycle, so this was on a transition. So between two different interstates, there's a transition where it flips to FSD mode during the transition. Well, a motorcyclist was trying to lane split. Well, the code had switched and I didn't realize it, and my car literally like swerved over out of the way of the motorcyclist. I've never seen that happen before, so they're definitely making a lot of adjustments to the way the software behaves. And they don't tell you what they change, like in the notes. So we're pretty much just like finding out. Downloading away. I think there was like a bar or something. It doesn't show the bar up on the top. So there's the release notes that are coming down. But it's weird, like it shows like 4.8.12 here, and then 4.8.13, which is not the one. It's going to be .12, so very odd, but it's still downloading. It's going kind of slow. It's not my internet that's slow. I have over a gigabit speed here. When Tesla pushes these downloads, they're all pretty much like simultaneously synced up to all the cars. So like we pretty much get them all at the exact same moment. And it downloads at the same rate for all of us, depending on where we are. Yeah, I'd say this is probably going to be a little bit boring up until maybe, I want to say maybe 10 or 15 more minutes. It's going kind of slow, but sometimes it surprises me and it'll like stop and then all of a sudden just jump to the end. Come on, bar, let's move. .4 branch. There's actually a lot of new software coming out for a lot of people. So we're actually really behind on the FSD branch right now. So, you know, it's .4. I think they're up to .24 now. I want to say .24 branch, like week number. So the fact that this is .12 means the software's still lagging behind production. So, you know, I think I've seen the new like speed limits. It'll show conditional speeds on the side here, like overlaid on the newer software builds. And we definitely don't have that in our software, at least yet. It'll be interesting to see what it's going to change because, I mean, 12, that's 8 weeks. So that's almost 2 months newer base level software. So hopefully it'll be something that looks different. We're gonna find out. It's always really exciting because like we have no idea. It just says FSD Beta version 9.2. That's all it says, and the same disclaimer about, you know, being cautious and all that. But there's nothing about anything being changed. Yeah, so .24, that's the one I've heard's coming out, and it's supposed to have a lot of cool features that's underlying. Yeah, it's gotta be vision updates, but there's probably gonna, you know, I'm really hoping to see something more like it's reacting more to different speed limit signs or conditional signs or construction zone signs. It just doesn't do any of that yet, and I think once we start seeing that, it's gonna be like, okay, wow, it's gonna be ready to go. Like, I haven't posted my last 9.1 drive yet, but it was pretty amazing because they changed the creeping behavior. So before, like, I've been complaining about it since it's come out. Like, it will stop and then just like go super fast through an intersection. But with 9.1, the car literally will stop and just roll. Like, it's phenomenal. And I was like flipping out on my video, but like I said, I've been moving, so I haven't been able to upload it yet. But it's pretty cool. Yeah, car wash mode's pretty awesome. Like, you know, I like going through the car wash occasionally because, you know, the weather's been disgusting here. And I don't feel like being outside in 100-degree weather with smoke everywhere. And, you know, I'll just run through the car wash. And it'd be really cool to have like a dedicated, at least button here going through a car wash, or at least geofence it. It'd be pretty cool. Geofence a button and then you can just tap it. Because I think you have to go into like service to get to it right now, from what I remember reading, but we'll see. I'm probably not going to drive tonight. I'll probably just turn the car on and see what the UI looks like. Since it's not plugged in, I'm able to start it. So that'll be kind of cool. I can actually start it up on the live stream and see what changes are showing on the screen. Nice. Yeah, they always sneak stuff in. So anytime you see that weak level change, there's always something that's changed underneath the hood. Usually when it's the ends, it's usually like bug fixes, stuff like that. But usually when there's a big weak number jump, like we're going from 4 to 12, so that's 8 weeks, there's usually software changes like UI stuff at that point. Yeah, the download is still running. I wish there was a percentage. That'd be kind of nice to show percentage here, but it's still moving. It's just like, just moving really slow. Like I said, it's not my internet. It's just, this is how it is with the beta. It kind of goes at the same exact speed for everyone. Yeah, I couldn't find my gimbal anywhere, so I was like digging through boxes all over the place. I just can't find it. So I have my glass mount for my ceiling, but I don't have any way to like clip my phone in. So I'm sorry for the shakes. Let's move in. I was actually working upstairs getting my office set up, so it's been kind of fun. Yeah, so the beta, I honestly don't know how I was selected to get the beta, Dylan. I've been in early access for a really long time, so I've tested a lot of different features. So I really don't know how I was selected for this. But yes, I do have a performance Model 3. And it's really interesting. So when I was talking to the other testers, pretty much everyone has performance Model 3s. I think only like two people don't. But the majority of all the other testers have performance Model 3s. I think we were pretty early too. So I know when I took delivery of my performance Model 3, it was right after they started producing the performance models. So I was one of the first people to get performance models here in California. It was just timing for me. I actually had ordered, I think it was the rear wheel drive version when Model 3 was first announced. I like ordered it that same night. And I was waiting for like, I think 2 or 3 years, and I couldn't take it anymore. I think I ended up getting two different electric cars in between. I think I had a BMW i3 and a Fiat 500, and I couldn't take it anymore. And then I got a Chevy Bolt. Um, then I ordered my Model 3 Performance. I canceled the order, ordered a Model 3 Performance, and I got delivery within less than a month because it was just like on the cusp of when they started production. So I lucked out with the timing. Moving along. So like I was saying, this download bar is pretty much synchronized with every other driver right now. So we're all probably sitting at the exact same spot. I'm actually on Wi-Fi. Some people are like not connected. They're in LTE or cellular. So all of our downloads are pushed to the cars no matter where we are. If we're Wi-Fi, if we are cellular, we all get pushed in real time to the FSD cars. So like one time I was actually driving, I was on Interstate 80 up in the Nevada mountains. I was right on the border of California and Nevada, and the download literally started downloading while we were driving through the mountains. It was really cool. That was actually, the drive was when the new UI was announced. So when we had that new visualization that did the vector imaging, that was when it was pushed to my car while I was driving. It was really neat. So once I parked, of course I installed it as soon as I parked, and then I got the update. And I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, because you could see like the wheels moving and the windows moving on the screen. I was like, oh my gosh, that's the coolest thing ever. It's moving. Let's do this. So like I had commentary in my last version 9.1 drive, but I hadn't uploaded yet. I was actually talking about the different timelines. I believe that um, they're going to widen the beta probably um, in this series of version 9s. And then I do foresee probably version 10 being wide. I say that because it's just the car's driving so well. I mean, I really don't have to disengage very many times, if any. There's some testers out there that are, I'm not going to name names, but they kind of like don't believe the car is capable of it based on hardware. I disagree. I do certain drives as a test to see what the car is doing, and in old drives, it had trouble with recognizing like the street lights on carpool lanes, carpool ramps. It just wouldn't show. And then subsequent revisions, all of a sudden the car was actually picking up the lights. So the cameras can clearly see them. The car just wasn't processing it. So that's why I really believe that it's just software. And I think they're going to widen this out probably by version 10. That's where we're going to start seeing really widen out and maybe even full release. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was by end of year, because the rate of what I'm seeing as a tester, like, it's just getting so much faster. And I don't have that many issues anymore. Like the issues I'm having are map routing related. And as soon as they're able to make that switch to say, okay, vision's overriding it, like if it's looking at the road, it sees a right hand turn, you know, like an arrow, it should know like, oh, change the nav routing. So I think it's going to happen. Don't you think Tesla would add more cameras? Yeah, absolutely. So that's exactly what I'm saying. So like someone was like, "Oh no, it's hardware issue." What, you know, if you run a business, you know, why would you build cars that you knowingly have the wrong hardware on and do, you know, 500,000 cars? No, that doesn't make any sense. So it definitely to me is just software at this point. You know, I think maybe they can make a few tweaks. Like on the new Model S, they tweak the fender cameras. Maybe they're a slightly wider angle of view, and that's why they're doing auto park on the Model S refreshes for software-based, vision-based. I don't know. I don't know what our fender cameras can see. Actually, I take that back. I do know what our fender cameras can see because they look back. So I don't know if maybe they like change the field of view on the side ones, or they'd make it wider. I don't know, because, you know, it's like when I got my FSD computer, the resolution of my backup camera got a lot better. So I think that the cameras have the resolution. I think the car just wasn't processing it. Yeah, see how it's like stalled out, it's showing 0. Everyone, it stalls at the same exact moment. So it's like pushing to all of our cars right now. I'm sorry if I missed any messages. It kind of like pops up on my screen, then just disappears pretty quick. There it goes again. So according to Tesla, the notes are that it just brings FSD related changes. However, I'm speculating that because we're getting such a large jump from 0.4 to 0.12, meaning 8 weeks of software revs, I think we're going to have some changes on the actual user interface. Even though they didn't say that, I think we're going to see something, because usually when there's a jump like this, there's usually like font changes, or maybe there's some additional functionality that's in production that we haven't gotten yet, because we're actually pretty far behind. I mean, 0.24 is what's rolling out now, and we're on 0.4 currently. So now we're going to 0.12. So 0.24 builds are still newer. We're going to find out. This is just about finished. It's moving right along. Yeah, so the release notes will not show currently. It's kind of acting glitchy. So as you can see here, my current build is 0.418.12. It shows 13 up there for some reason, which is weird. But it's not going to show the new notes until after the install. So I'm just going to keep the stream going. You don't have to like watch the whole thing, but I'd probably say about 20 minutes or so. We'll get to the point where it's just about finished, and then I'll pop up the release notes, and I'm going to go through the whole screen and check out any additional changes I can spot. Usually every one of these updates, they change the color of the wheels slightly. So this build, my wheels look a little bit darker. You know, it's like hard to tell because I'm on a phone screen, but the wheels got darker on my last build release. They're always changing something. So let's see here. Yeah, look at that. Almost done. Here we go. I'm going to start the install. It's probably going to go dark and get all crazy in a second. It's going to be funny. Like, I kind of like watching these installs because they change the words, like on the install screen with a little progress bar. They change like the little words that they say all the time. Yeah, actually, I'm tired. Like, I was up kind of late waiting for it last night. I actually took a nap today so I could kind of be up just in case. But I am not going to drive tonight because I don't know if you were in here when I was talking earlier, but I've been moving, so I'm just kind of exhausted from that. Yeah, and I couldn't find my gimbal, so I'm like holding my phone as best as I could. I was actually gonna go buy one today because I literally can't find my gimbal anywhere. I just don't know what happened to it. Okay, should be almost done. Exciting, exciting, it's almost there. Yeah, they have been messing up with the colors quite a bit. I noticed at every release that I noticed the wheel colors change and the brakes get like, sometimes the brakes get like really dark and then sometimes they get really bright. I kind of like how they look brighter now. My car build is one of the original performance models, so I have the silver wheels. I don't have the gunmetal ones. I really love the gunmetal wheels though, they look so pretty. Come on, Beta, let's go. Usually at this point, it's usually doing validation. So usually once the bar goes all the way to the end, it's like doing validation of the software. If there was a problem, I've seen it actually restart. Like it'll actually restart down and then re-download again. Like if it fails a CRC check or something, it'll re-download. It hasn't done it for a while, but usually at this point, it's doing like a verification and then it'll pop up and say install. And I tap it multiple times so I don't have to wait. I really kind of hope that it's going to give us the option to toggle the percentage and mileage. I know that that was something that was in the newer software. I just don't remember which rev it was that they added it, if it was 12 or 24. I'm hoping it's 12. Here we go, here we go. Stalling. Finally. 2021.12.25.15 FSD Beta version 9.2. Super excited. Hate the shaky phone, but I'm super excited. Like, I tried to put it down low on this, the little center console thing, but the angle doesn't look right and the light was kind of glaring. I don't want it to like if it looks okay to you guys, I can put it down here. I don't know what's worse, the angle or the shake. I feel like the angle's better up here. There's not much to see, but I want to see if they change any of the text here. Like sometimes it'll say unwrapping presents. I remember when that started, like what, 2 years ago? Unwrapping presents. So usually anytime there's a release, I want to see what it says now. So unfortunately, we can't drive and live stream, but I'm going to absolutely start the car up and go through all the screens and find out if there's any changes and what I can see that's new before I drive. That's kind of something I always do is I'm very OCD, so I go through all the menu options. I check to see if there's any font changes, anything I'm noticing, and I just point it out to everyone. I kind of like doing that. Yeah, I think the people are starting to realize that the beta's out. My phone's starting to blow up. Uh, it's probably gonna get really dark here because usually, yeah. So my 9.1 video, that's a really good question, Igor. So like I have my 9.1 video. I just haven't edited it yet because I've been moving and I've been really occupied with that. So I have it recorded on my GoPro. I just haven't uploaded it. It takes a lot of work to do video editing. Like I try not to do too much editing because my videos are so long. It actually takes a really long time. So I'm trying to figure out a way to make it not too intensive to get the videos done. Yeah, 9.1 is amazing. So it was the best build so far compared to all the other software. It's been incredible. Like I rarely have to disengage now. It's really off the hook. Yeah, and one thing that I haven't really seen people talking about is the new creeping behavior. I think I tweeted about it, but it's really hard to make a video. Like I don't have a mount in my car, so um, the new creeping behavior, it actually comes up to the stop and then barely rolls. It's just like rolling. It's hard to describe. So like in my older videos, when the car would go up, it would literally like accelerate out. It wouldn't creep, like legit creep. It would just accelerate out. The new version 9.1 actually creeps, just rolls. It's really comforting. Like you don't feel uneasy that the car is going to just go out in front of traffic. It's actually really cool. I love the new software. It's great. There's some adjustments I feel like needs to be done. So um, if there's a huge amount of traffic, like a really long line of cars, FSD software is programmed to not overtake a car if you're within a certain number of feet from an intersection. But, Sacramento, the traffic can get out of control, and you could be in a queue line that is like a block or two long, and the car will not have it basically will go and overtake a car into oncoming traffic, thinking that this car's like stopped like an Amazon delivery truck driver. It'll want to go around it. Well, you can't go around it when the queue line is like 2 blocks long. So I feel like they really need to make an adjustment for that. I've tweeted about it, and one other tester started tweeting about it too, because it's been really bothering us because it's something that we always have to disengage for. But if they make that improvement, it's gonna be a lot more natural where I'm rarely gonna have to disengage. My feeling is that version 9.3 or whatever is going to be the next revs, this is going to start widening because the software is really good. I think version 10 is probably going to be where it's going to be wide. That's my speculation on it, because it's that good. So if they keep going in the same direction with like 9.3, 9.4, or whatever, I think version 10 is going to be the wide release. I mean, I know that's a lot to say, but like I really believe that's what it's going to be because it's really good. A lot of people like, you've heard of Omar. He's always raving about it. I mean, it is really incredible, but there's a lot of, there's been some issues, but the amount of issues I'm having are just significantly less, and they're not like horrible. It's not like the car was weaving around the road like my initial builds where it was drunk driving. It's driving so natural. Yeah, seriously. Because it's like there's something about Tesla that's so infectious. I mean, it's like going to the Plaid event was mind blowing for me. I'm never going to forget it. Like, That was the coolest thing. I mean, the fact that if you guys were watching it, do you remember watching? There was like the drone overhead video. Well, that drone overhead video was live streamed to this huge screen, and all the people watching on the web, like following his actual plaid car up onto the screen. It was the coolest thing ever. Yeah, so there's still a lot of restrictions, and mainly it's for safety. This is not just like, you can't live stream because just for fun. Like, it's for safety because, if the car does something erratic, you need to be able to fully control it. And like right now, like I'm having to hold my phone because I can't find my little mount, but it's for safety reasons. And if there's something that's like crazy, you need to be able to at least have a buffer on like, oh, don't show that. Because the world is it's chaotic. There's always something. There's always like an animal running out in front of you or something crazy happening, but the car handles everything really well. Like, I've not had my car do anything that made me feel like it was going to hit someone or hit a bike. I've like never has it even attempted to do anything like that. I think one of my old builds, there was a bicyclist that was in the traffic lanes, and he turned in front of my car while it was in FSD mode, and the car, in its lane path prediction, predicted that because the bike was going so slow that it was actually safer to go to the right in front of the bike to go around it, which scared the living daylight out of me because I thought it was going to hit the bike. But it was actually going to path around it because it detected that the velocity of the bike was slower than my car actually going around it to the right. So everything was fine. It was just the way that it selected that path routing like scared me really bad. But that was the only time that it's done anything like that crazy. And that was, I think, build 1 or build 2 of the software. Yeah, but version 9 has been just off the hook. It's so incredible. I hope that everyone starts getting Tesla Vision because it's just so much smoother. So, I don't have that problem with unprotected turns. Like, I mean, I've been doing unprotected turns in like every one of my videos. And when I'm driving, I have a lot of unprotected turns, and they're fine. Like, the car goes up, it waits for the traffic, and then it just goes. And I don't have a problem with that. And I don't know if people are overreacting to it or if it's, different situations, but mine works really well. Same with Omar. He doesn't have problems with that either. So, one of the testers that has a significant amount of problems with it, she has a Model X, and I kind of wonder if, because the Model X is a larger car, maybe it's just not tuned as well for the Model X. It's more tuned for the Model 3 and Y is what my thinking is, but that's just my guess. I'm not entirely sure what it is, to be honest. It's so crazy. Do not drive until it's complete. What's really funny about that is I saw one guy, he ran his software update while he was driving his car. It was crazy. He wasn't in the beta, but I think I saw someone streaming that. It was wild. The guy was like driving down the street while his car was doing the software update. It was wild. So at this point, it's usually about 15 more minutes. Yeah, it makes such a huge difference with the Tesla Vision and the dropped radar. It drives just so much better. The way it responds to traffic on the highways, it's so much smoother. Like, I'm really, really happy with it. Like, I don't have problems with the wipers or anything. Like, everything works fine. The only thing I noticed is that the speed is limited to 80 miles an hour. So when I'm like flipping the scroll wheel up to set my speed, I get that warning because I always go right to 80 because that's kind of like cruising traffic on the highway. It's going to be interesting to see when the ECM starts updating because that's when the power is going to cut and everything to get super dark in here. Oh, my arm's getting so tired. I need to figure out how to put this up. Okay, this angle's not very good, I'm sorry, but that way it's not shaking. Yeah, it totally is. That's the problem I'm having with that. That's the problem I was having with the radar is that it was really like it would just be really erratic. I don't find vision to do that at all. Like it's so accurate. Like especially if I'm in a lot of heavy traffic and I'm in the carpool lane and the traffic to the right is stopped. You know, a lot of people cut in front of you. They'll jump in front of you and the car responds so quickly. Like it's crazy. Like it that cut-in detection is so accurate where like if a car even looks like it may jump in front of you, like if they're starting to go and then they cut back, my car is already responding to it. Like it's really, really incredible. Yeah, the vision-based move was just awesome. Lane changes are accurate. Like I don't have, I used to have a lot of cancellations when I would make a lane change, like the auto lane change, but not anymore. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I have my roof mount. I have it suction cupped to the console right now, and I'm trying to like stabilize everything. It's probably gonna get dark in just in about a minute or so. This is about the point when it starts updating the ECM, the electronic control module. It's gonna get dark. So it's not gonna be the live stream cutting out, it's just gonna be the power cutting out in the car in just a second. I think there's going to be some UI changes. I'm actually really excited for this. Oh, there it goes. Like updating the ECU so I can hear the ventilation system changed. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's probably going to start tripping out in a second. Whoa. It's always so scary. Did you guys hear that? It's like the contactor on the battery just closed and the power just cut. So loud. Okay, moving along. Ooh, it's getting there, it's getting there. So interesting. The map lights are staying lit. I don't remember that happening. So, and like all the other updates that I've done, I've had the interior lights on like this, and when the contactor closes on the battery like that, the lights would turn off, but the map lights are staying on. That's interesting. Maybe that's like a safety thing. Maybe they kept power to the lights for safety reasons. I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah, it's waking up already. That's interesting. I think they changed something. So that's something I'm going to point out is that my lights stayed on during this update. Um, I don't recall that ever happening before. Usually with all my previous updates that I've live streamed, it's all the power's gone out in the car, so I've lost all light. This time the lights actually stayed on the whole during the whole entire update process, and the vents already kicked on, so it's almost to the end here. Yeah, it's so interesting. So I don't know if anyone else, stays in their car while it updates, but this is the first time I've stayed in it when the light stayed lit. That's very interesting. Maybe that's a newer feature. Yeah, we're almost to the end, everyone, because the ventilation just kicked on, so that means it's almost done. So once I see the 12 volt kick on and my little lighting kick on, usually it'll just jump to the end and it's done. Then we're going to go through release notes. I'm going to start the car up, see what's changed. We'll go through the release notes live, and I'm going to go through pretty much every single screen setting to see if I notice any changes or anyone else notices any changes. You can point it out. There, it killed again. Usually when it does that, when it comes back, then the 12 volt kicks back on, all the power comes back. But it's so interesting, the lights are still on. Usually they shut off. I don't know about you guys, but I'm super excited. It's almost done. And every time we get this new update, it's like, what did they change? Because it's like the release notes are so vague. It's just like the same release, the same email every single time. The only thing that changes is literally the version number in our email. It'll say FSD Beta, whatever version it is, and then the software rev, and that's it. And when we switch to Tesla Vision, that's when some of the email changed to say, oh, now you're using Tesla Vision, and it says the following distance is set to, I think, 2 to 7 or something like that. And autopilot speed is restricted to 80. But that's pretty much the only thing it says in our email. So you probably can't hear it. Oh, there the lights went. It's like we're in a movie theater. So usually when it does this and the lights kick off, it's usually almost finished at that point. Usually the power goes out for about a minute or two. It doesn't usually stay off for too long. Do you think the one stack to roll them all will be? I think that's going to be V10. So I think version 10 is we're going to see the wide release at version 10, or at least a very wide release in version 10, because the software, from my point of view, is really, really well developed. What I'm really curious to see is if they're going to start adding more recognition to different signs. So, like, for example, like an advisory speed sign that's usually yellow or orange, like orange sign, yellow sign. Usually you would want to drop the speed down to that or go to the advisory, but the car doesn't read it at all. So, like, even though it's a curve and the car will slow because it's a curve, it's not like reacting to the signs. And if we start seeing that reaction, the car reacting to that stuff, we know that it's like recognizing it. And that's going to make it feel a lot more like, oh, it's very aware of what's around. So I think if we start seeing more of that, I'm going to be like, okay, yeah, it knows where it is on the road. It knows what lane it's in. I want to see the nav routing react to like a particular lane you're in. So say like you're on a road that is two turns to the right or something like that, and the nav for some reason is wanting to go straight. Vision could say, oh, it's only allowing us to do right turns and automatically change the nav routing. I want to see that happen because there's like a lot of temporary road signs in my area, and the nav routing will just go the wrong way. And if Vision was seeing the signs like, oh no, you can't turn right here right now, then it would, readjust automatically. I want to see that happen. Sorry, I didn't see the messages because they disappear off my screen. Let me see if I can see. Oh, okay, now I can see it. Update adds turn signal recognition. Okay, so it's already showing brake light recognition, and my first update showed turn signals. I don't know if it was a fluke. I don't know. I was trying to record it, but like it's very, very difficult. But it was showing. Yeah, rerouting for closed roads or temporary signs, that's what I really want to see. Like if we start seeing the cars reacting to that kind of stuff, it's gonna be like, okay, yeah, like it's better than us. Like even people don't know what to do when there's like I can't even count the number of times. Like we have a no right turn on one of the streets near my work. And everyone pulling out of the street ignores it and goes the wrong way down the street. And I'm like, come on. Like, I wish the car would react to that, you know? So it should be almost done. Yeah, because the lights are off. That means that it's updating the last ECUs. Usually when the power kicks back on, it just jumps to the end. It's finished. So we are almost here, everyone. Super exciting. I'm going to put my phone right back down. I'm not going to able to see the chat messages at the moment because my phone is like being blocked, but at least it's not shaking. It's just about to turn back on. I just heard some of the modules initialize. There's like a lot of different sounds happening. My car has been sitting at 60%. Oh, so you must be getting the update as well. Yeah, it's my car's definitely doing something. I can actually hear the different computer and the different modules like spinning up. Like, you hear that? There's so many different like sounds happening right now. It sounds like a water pump. It sounds like a water pump, like a pool pump just turned on kind of thing. Like when you're getting to a spa, that's what it sounds like. And it shut off. Okay, so usually when that happens, the power's going to kick back on. So let's see. I'm going to turn the lights back on. So it looks like the lighting came on. Yeah, it was definitely a pump running. You could hear it. There goes the lights again. So now it's definitely restarting everything because the lights just kick back off. Here we go. Power's coming. The lights just flashed outside. Lights just came back on. 12 volts should kick on. The air vent should kick on any second. And then this is going to just jump to the end. That's how it always happens. It usually sits here for the longest time. And all of a sudden it just goes boom. Do you have Scan My Tesla? I don't. So I don't have any third-party apps tied into my car. Part of being in early access, you're not allowed to have any third-party apps or APIs tying into your car. So I don't have anything, and since it's been like, almost a year now, I don't have any third-party apps. Just the standard Tesla app. Yeah, brake light recognition is already existing. That started with version 9, and there hasn't been any changes to that with version 9.1. I'm curious to see if it's going to start doing turn signal recognition with version 9.2. I may actually go out and just, well, no, there's going to be no cars out tonight. I'm going to have to do that tomorrow because I'm in a really quiet area, so there's going to be no one on the road. But we're going to go through everything on the screen, and I'm going to start the car up. So that should be just any minute now. Let me see my screen. Follow. Oops. Go follow a random car. Yeah, until they turn their blinker on. Yeah, they're gonna probably report me for like stalking them. So my car does react to brake lights. So at first I thought it was just visual, but then when I realized in stop and go traffic on the freeway, I saw brake lights come on and my car reacted so fast. It wasn't like reacting to the car slowing. It was reacting to the lights triggering and then slowing. So it's definitely reacting now. Okay, it's almost done. Screen just got. Here we go. Almost here. It's like a movie. This is so exciting, you guys. Because every one of these updates is just getting so much better. So it's like that much closer to coming out for everyone. Okay, it's coming to life. I can hear everything starting up. I'm not sure if the iPhone can pick up the different sounds, but there's different sounds happening under the front of the car right now. Sounds like another pump. Whoa. That always gets me. Like, that battery contactor is so loud. Like, I jumped in my seat. Okay, now it's coming up. Lights, my little lighting came back on. So, it should come up any second now. We're going to roll through all the screens, any changes. I'm going to go through and find them all. I'll turn the light on behind here too. Come on, Tesla T, come on. Yep. Come on, T. I want that Tesla T. Yeah, I know the car's still coming to life because there's no vents yet. So it's still like all the systems are still firing up. And I do have an older car, you know, like I said, it's one of the very first performance Model 3s that rolled off. So the modules are probably not as new because, you know, they're always changing things. So I have a lot of my car's older. Yeah, it's still updating. Finishing. Driving disabled. Do not drive. Oh, I think the fans are about to kick on. I just heard the actuator move inside the vent system, so that means it's going to kick on any second. We're almost done. Home stretch. Yeah, because the 12 volt kicked on, so my little lights kicked on, so that means it's almost ready to go. Usually at this point, once the 12 volt is on, the vent should kick on any second, and then it's going to pop to the end and the screen will come right back on. Come on, come on. I love how oh, there it goes, rebooting. See, I was right. Jump right to the end. I just was gonna say I love how clean the Tesla T looks. So I've always been so fascinated by that logo. It's just like the way it looks is so streamlined. Okay, here we go. Yeah, the little red lights I have, so they're like these fiber optic. I'll just pan it down. They're like these fiber optic like tubes that run inside the edge between the center console trim pieces. It's actually pretty slick. It just like slides right in the groove. So there's nothing like stuck on. It's just slid inside the car. Looks great. And I think it wasn't very much money. I think it was like $20 or $30, something like that. It has like a 12 volt like LED thing that's inside the car here, and the tube's hooked to that, and it just runs alongside here, and they just slid right inside the groove. It's pretty cool. I think maybe it got nicked here because it's darker. I don't know, but it's just a fiber optic tube, so there's nothing like electronic inside of it. It's just plastic. Should be almost done. So funny, like my brake lights respond. So I'm just gonna pick up the phone so you can see this. So like I'm hitting my brake lights and you can see it reflect off my garage door. Almost here. I can hear like different fans going. There was another one. Like different fan actuators were just clicking. Yep, there it goes. Screen slit. Okay, everything's coming to life. Here comes the vents. It's cooling off. Okay. (9.2). Car still loading, as you can see, nothing there. Okay, so the graphic looks exactly the same, including the same like darker wheel kind of thing. Yep, same release notes. Oh, look at that. Skyforce Reloaded, new game. Okay, so we do have some changes here. Okay, so this is where we were. 4.12, minor cold weather improvements. Cabin camera updates. New language. Finnish and Croatian support, so that's new. Skyforce Reload is a new game. Camera improvement. Can detect attentiveness. This actually works. It's actually kind of crazy. Driving visualization improvements, FSD Beta improvements. So far, nothing different. Okay, let's look through all the screens. Same. That's all the same. That's all the same. That childlike icon's a little bit different. A little bit different. That's the same. Driving. That looks all the same too. Okay, so let's see if there's anything different. Navigate on autopilot. No. It looks like they did something with the way that the look at the positioning of the UI here. The buttons look bigger. That looks interesting. So they're bigger, and look at it's like slid up on the screen. So there's a UI issue here. See the spacing at the bottom is more than it used to be. It used to be down a little bit further. So they did change either the fonts or something. Something's different on this screen. So I can tell like it's kind of weird. They need to fix that. Whatever. It's not like it's a problem, but it's just my attention to these things. I don't think people normally see that kind of stuff. Okay, save desk clamps on honk. I'm not seeing any changes in here. Wiper surface. That button looks a little bit different. That used to be a toggle, right? Am I thinking that wrong? There used to be a toggle. So now it's a button for wiper surface. So that's something new. So yeah, that looks the same. Oh, because I'm not sitting down. Connect. Oh, I think my sound's gonna get messed up. Let me switch this. Okay, sorry. This screen's different. The fonts are different in the screen. They're smaller, and there's a blue icon now, which is different. Oh yeah, look at that. There's a dialer. Cool. Oops. That was cool. Oh, and it's smoother. Everything's running smoother. Wow. So there's something different with the UI. Oh man, that's gonna cook me. The screen is just like, it's like really responsive. Everything is like smoother. That's hard to describe, but why is it showing this? Game update. Look at that. Huh. This is a different size. Okay, so it used to go out further on the screen here. This slide up, it's more narrow now. So they changed the font. It's actually smaller and more narrow. So it used to go all the way out here. I used to have to tap out here to hit toy box. Now it's slimmer. So that's a user change. Like it's slimmer. So before I used to have to go way over here. Now my finger doesn't have to go as far. It only has to go here. So they did change this shape. Charging screen looks the same. Web. That's the same. I never use the web browser in here. Usually just to show people something. Okay, so these all look the same. I heard that Disney Plus was supposed to be added on the newer software. I think the 24. That's not on here because this is older software. But here's the new Skyforce updating. Okay. Toy box, same. Okay, so let's start the car up and see if we see any differences on. Oh, I don't see anything. Oh, I do notice something. This. It's changed. So they switched the compass. It actually looks like an actual compass now. That's cool. That's different. This is a lot larger. So the side of the screen here, it used to be like right here. It's actually pushed out further, and all of the icons across the top fill in the space now. There used to be gaps. So they changed the spacing of this, and they changed that slightly. Yeah, so like that's what I'm saying. Like they changed the screen. This width is different. They changed the width out. So it used to come like you didn't used to go as far. So the buttons now kind of all fit in here. I don't think they changed the size of this. They changed the spacing. So now the spacing's different. Yeah, they are. They're making it bigger and bigger. And you know what's crazy is when you're not in, when you're driving and you're in FSD, it goes way out. Yeah, let's see. Well, you know, I'm not going to see anything because I'm in my garage. So, like, I have my ultrasonics are kicking up. But, yeah, so far, just a few UI changes here. And the spacing. So, okay, follow me on Twitter. I'm going to go drive around the block really quick. Thanks for standing by, everyone. A drone video? I know. I totally need a drone video. I actually got a new Mavic Mini I'm going to try out. Okay, so I'm going to go drive really quick. Not on here, but I'm going to go drive really quick and then follow my Twitter. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good night.